Hello and welcome to KitTV, bringing you all the Kit news. For tonight's main story, we have a special KitTV investigation on the Ree family. Right now, as I speak, Ari is getting ready to be released from the hospital after a second near-fatal hit and run with a speeding car. We have a reporter on scene and standing by, so when she's released, we'll be right there for the exclusive interview. For now, we figured we'd look back at the history of the Ree family and try to unearth the truth to all their tragic deaths. While most records were lost during the Ree Mansion fire in 1999, some records remain completely intact. One example is the late Hitori XV, who, in their short time, gave rise to an illegitimate child, Shui. While no one is sure on who the true parents are, most records indicate it to be Estelle and Ulf. After a messy split between the two, however, Shui disappeared and wasn't heard from again. Not until the death of Hitori XXIII, who died of presumably natural causes. Since she died with no heirs, the Ree household and all the wealth, power, and potential reincarnations were up for grabs. This is when Shui returned, claiming she deserved her right to the throne. Now, records past this point have been lost in the fire, so we can only assume Shui was killed by a new Hitori shortly after the power struggles began. There's also the story of Commander Hitori, who very infamously started the Kana Liberation Army. Notorious for their hatred of Canada, Commander Hitori led a crusade against them in hopes of establishing Canada, with the titular goddess at the helm. While we can't go over all the details, some of them truly stand out. For instance, Commander Hitori revealed that she had access to nuclear codes. How they got them, we'll never know. The records also show that they laid siege to Ottawa. However, during this time, a new construction project caused a rift in her troops, eventually leading to a coup and its eventual dissolvement. She tried to assault Canada one more time, but was hastily defeated by General Scharnhorst in Toronto. They later died of a cerebral spinal complication. So it seems that no matter how many iterations of Hitori come along, even under different names, tragedy and strife always seem to follow in their wake. Oh, I'm receiving word that Ari is leaving the hospital right now. Let's tune in.
How are you feeling right now, Ari?
I'm feeling fine.
What do we... Just move on? Just move on. Oh, okay. Now, let's look at some smaller stories as we dig deeper into the borough. Our first dig is less a story and more of a recap. During Kana's Breath of the Wild stream, some of you may have missed the historic launch of the Falcon 9 rocket. Well, have no fear. We at KitTV have faithfully recreated the launch for you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed.
Incredible. In other news, one kid in the borough has been on the hunt. What are they hunting for? Why, they are hunting for the thickest of thighs. So in order to help the jazz man out, we have enlisted the help of one man who has extensive knowledge on the subject. So how did you become a thigh master?
How did I become a thigh master? Well, that's a long story. It involves some crazy incidents in college, but it mainly involves to one day, as I was walking across my college campus, I saw a beautiful woman in the distance, and well, she had thighs that were thicker than oatmeal. And it was at that moment, when I saw those beautiful thighs, I knew I could no longer be a man who just enjoys the booty or the justices, and I was all about getting my face in between them thighs. You know, I mean, that's how like thigh life be. You just want to stick your face in between them thighs. You kind of want them to crush your head like a watermelon.
Since you are a master, then what advice would you have for somebody who is looking for the, let's say, thickest of thighs?
Okay, so if you want to find some thick thighs, it's going to sound a little bad, but it's very difficult to find really, really thick thighs among the Caucasians, unless you find a good fat-ass white girl. It's very hard to find. You got to go for, in my experience, you really got to go for the Latinas, man, or the Latinxes as they're known today. they always got them really thick thighs. You know, when you grab them, you can like kind of like sink your fingers in a little bit. That's the best. But if you want to find it, you got to first you got to have game. You got to have that really good game to pick up these females or males. Not judging here. I've done some crazy things in college, but to find it first, you got to locate it. Then you just got to scout it a little bit. You got to find kind of like your target, and you go like, dang, I want them thighs. So then you approach her, be real polite, be real nice, and then you kind of just run off with that. I mean, I never really struggled to get some good thigh meat, but it's just about being conversational. Don't be a creep. That's all I can really say on that.
Okay, let's say if somebody wants to go from being a butt man or a breast man to a thigh man, how would you get that person, or what would you recommend to that person to get them into the game?
Okay, so if you want to get into the thigh game, you gotta know the mechanics and the meta of the thigh game. I'm sure some people who are watching this interview right now have heard of that little golden ratio between the knee-high socks and the skirt, you know, where the thigh kind of peeks out a little bit above like that little like muffin top above the high socks. That's like peak, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to go from booty or for chestises and you're trying to get into the thighs, first you gotta acknowledge that thighs are just part of the butt. Like, you can still play with the booty with the thighs, but you still get that nice cushion around your head as you do unspeakable things to her. And then for the chestises, you can still reach up and have some fun with it. But the thighs, man, you get real intimate. You get real close to her. You get close to her deepest secrets and parts of her body. It is just an all-encompassing thing when you really go into the thighs and when you truly understand that booty and chestises are all just part of a greater thigh that you just want just wrapped around your head, man.
Okay, that is all the questions I had. Thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for talking with me about thighs.
Oh, no problem. I'm always love talking about thighs. I always love talking about how these young people can just experience the wonders of loving thighs, man.
We would like to wish Jasmine good luck on his hunt. We'll be right back. Welcome back. For our segment tonight, we actually have something a bit different for you. One of the moderators, Estelle, has a bit of an issue with our show, but we really don't know why. Regardless, we were taken to court over compensation. Here is the video of that court case. And finally, here is your moment of wholesome.
World's as beautiful as you make it, so face each day with a smile and see just how beautiful everything can truly be.
Thank you for watching KitTV. May the goddess forever bless us all. Good night.